Venezuelan government has accused the White House of using AI to generate the video that you're seeing right now on your screens. President Trump says it shows a strike on a narco-terrorist that the U.S. military claims killed 11 people. CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie Daggett joins us now from Washington, D.C. I feel like, Charlie, we're going to hear a lot of world leaders suggesting that the videos that we're looking at are AI generated, which is why it's so critical for you, your team, and other journalists on the ground to tell us what we know about this operation. So what have we learned?
Well, in terms of the operation itself, Vlad, precious little. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth was in an interview earlier today. He was asked, how was this conducted? Because that's one of the things we want to know, right? He said, that's classified. And I think I should paint the picture that although there is a lot of, especially U.S. Navy hardware in that region, in operations like this, there are always sort of Overwatch or special forces that might be involved. And just me taking a look at that from my experience, it's kind of hard to tell. It could be a drone strike. It could be something that was fired from an aircraft. It could even be surface to surface. Again, Defense Secretary Hegseth pushed back against the whole AI idea, saying, no, we actually watched it live. But as you can see from those images, there are multiple images and multiple angles of that strike. So obviously the Pentagon and others doubling down that what you're seeing is real. But I should also point out that when you send, it's called a weapons package to a region like that, especially a region that isn't normally one of those concentrated areas like Southcom or Southern Command, you're going to have ISR, so you're going to have intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. So you're going to have eyes on that whole area, which means when they say we identified that boat, they called it a ship, but when they identified that boat and fired on it, they would have a more enhanced understanding of that neighborhood.
So why do you think Maduro would say that it was AI generated? What do you think that's about? Why would he say something like that? That doesn't make any sense. I can tell you this. If you are one of these guys that are running those boats, when he calls out for another delivery and you're supposed to be up, you're supposed to deliver, what do you think that guy is thinking? That would be my first question. What do you think that guy is thinking? They're going to send another one. They have to. They have to prove that they're not deterred. They have to prove that Donald Trump is blustering. They have to prove it. But now you got military, ships in the region. So if you're going to move more, drugs to the U.S., and you're going to send somebody, I would be thinking to myself, I hope he doesn't. Imagine you're sitting at home and your phone starts ringing. Do you answer? You better. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I got to tell you something, okay? Donald Trump not being really, because this is what happened in 2020. He was unelected. Biden didn't win. Donald Trump was unelected. But that was the best thing to ever happen to us, because now the gloves are off. He's not dinking around anymore. He's going full board. Like, this is it. I'm not playing games. I'm getting it done. Period. End of story. I'm not looking for you guys to write some magical piece about me because I know how much you hate me. And now he gets that Adam Schiff and James Clapper and Brennan, those are all POSs. Okay? And now he understands the depth of that shite. And so now he does something like this, which, by the way, he campaigned on that. That would be one of my first takeaways. And then my second takeaway would be, what if you're one of the parents who your son or daughter actually overdosed on drugs and you're lamenting that? What do you think they're thinking about this? They're probably thinking, like a lot of the mothers in Washington, D.C. who lost their children, I wish he'd done this earlier. Why is he the only person willing to risk it? Why is he the only one with political muscle to get something like this done? That'd be my first guess. And by the way, all of the ships that are now in the region, Maduro knows about it. He's recruiting people, and people are signing up. Go ahead. That's a bad career move.
Yeah, I think it's just so fascinating. You've got the president of the United States yesterday suggesting that video that showed something getting thrown out of the White House window was AI. And now you've got this, the leaders of Venezuela saying that the video that we're watching here is AI. So I suspect, again, that there's going to be a lot of world leaders that are trying to either misinform the people or suggest that what actually happened didn't happen. I guess the bigger question is, what does this mean? Whether the Venezuelans are saying that it is what it is or isn't, how does this already impact the relationship between the U.S. and that country?
Well, you know, President Trump called this the first strike, and I think it's important to listen to the president, because a lot of what's going on here, including putting that video out, it's about messaging. It's about sending a message to Venezuela itself. That's
what it's about. The White House put it out. He's telling Maduro, hey, this is what happens when you continually do what I told you not to do. Don't send that crap here. Don't do it. And that guy is corrupt, and everybody kind of knows he's corrupt, but what are you thinking now? Look, you can recruit people in the military because that's kind of, you know, a show of force, and how dare you, you know, flood our coast with these naval ships, and you will not, you know, intervene. You got to understand something. They've got ships off the coast of Venezuela that can fire precision missiles into that country. That's what's happening right now. Precision missiles deep into Venezuela. And so if you're that guy, like I said before, you're actually going to run out there and you're going to run these drugs, you got to be thinking to yourself, that wasn't AI, because I just called so-and-so and nobody's answering. Yeah. His friends just called him and nobody is answering. They've called all of the 11 and nobody on that boat is answering. So they know, no, that ain't AI. They know it's real. And there's precious we can do to stop them.
The country of Venezuela, but also to drug traffickers in that region. And he said there's more to come. Now, where it starts to get a little bit murky is they've sent 8 battleships, and these are forward battleships, including a marine unit, a marine expeditionary unit, like with landing craft. This is an offensive team that's out there, not to defend necessarily the borders, but to launch attacks if necessary, including 3 destroyers, a cruiser, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the question came up again today: is this about regime change to try to get rid of the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro? That was put to one side. The Pentagon said, look, we're a planning organization. That is a White House decision. But certainly it's something that they're considering. And whether this is about optics or whether it hasn't been decided yet, this might turn from a drug interdictory to something more serious.
It's already something serious. 11 people's lives were lost. Now, I don't like even drug dealers for their life to be cut short. I know, just hear me out. I've told you guys several times, I'm a Christian. If you have not come to the knowledge of Christ, I don't want you killed. I don't. Because I don't want to take away that opportunity from that person. What? I'm sorry, I don't. Still, you don't want to kill these drug dealers? No, I do not. You have no idea what happens to them. You don't know what's going to happen to them, what revelations they're going to come to 20 years from now, 30 years from now. You don't know. I don't like cutting anyone's life short. Okay? But I understand when you play this game when you get in this business, when you start running drugs, when the government has told you repeatedly, stop it, and you don't, you're doing it to yourself. Look, why don't I just go out and start selling drugs? Why not? I've heard that it's an easy buck. Okay, why not? Because I understand, number one, the consequences of people getting addicted to that crap, and on number two, you're going to get caught. They always do. Well, not always, but far more often that they're going to get caught. And you're going to be, sharing a shower. That, and it is immoral. So I don't like it, but when you choose that line of work, hey, you did that to yourself. I didn't. You did. I've told you guys before when one of my cousins was gunned down by a rival gang member, and my grandmother didn't cry. And people were asking why she didn't cry. She says, because I told him not to. I told him to get out of it. I told him you're either going to end up in prison for the rest of your life or you're going to end up dead. But he continued. So when he get what I told him he was going to get, why should I start shedding tears? When he didn't stop, I already settled it in my own spirit. He's gone. Either one way or another. She had already reconciled in herself. When you make those decisions, you're going to get the consequences. That's the only way that I, reconcile what's happening. As a Christian, I don't want your life cut short. I don't. But then I also understand actions have consequences. And that's part of living, man. Actions have consequences. All right, guys, that's it for now. If you like this video, smash the like button and subscribe. And if you're following me on Rumble, please press that follow button. And until the next time, God bless.